Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakai Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us his truth and who rule well. Peace, love, salutations, and mercy be unto the hopeful elect. Bitcoin and digital currency, as well as Chime, Cash App, and other money transferring systems of that nature were only set up to get you prepared for the mark of the beast. Wireless payment methods is the future. And eventually, Esau is going to forward his agenda to have the whole world chipped. The whole world chipped and receive the mark of the beast. Now those that are ruling in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai will not receive this mark, even if it's through penalty of death, understanding that through their faith and belief in Yahweh Shai, they have immortality. And as Yahweh Shai was raised from the dead, so shall they be. So keep your faith unto the end, even through these trying times. These wireless payment methods and these digital wallets were only set up to get your mind ready for the true agenda that they were going to roll out, which is the RFID chip and the brain chip, which are the mark of the beast. Gradually, because Esau deals with gradualism, he doesn't just do something just outright, but he slowly changes things, or he slowly creates something, or he slowly introduces you to something. And what he's been slowly introducing you into is a cashless society by way of doing away with dollars. Here it is, you have this coronavirus or Covid-19, and they're saying that money is dirty now. Now Esau wants to give you a stimulus package, all right, to the U.S. citizens. And at first they said that they were going to do cash. Then they said that they were going to do a check, and mail it out to every adult citizen. And from a check, it went to digital money being on a digital wallet. Now, there's a certain particular digital wallet that comes to mind. And that digital wallet is the RFID chip, in which the RFID chip was used, all right, to put Bitcoin on. And I'm going to show you that within an article. It was used as a digital wallet to put Bitcoin on it. And bear with me, Baba Kasha. This is all part of Esau's agenda. And his agenda is Revelation 3:16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 636. Now the word mark, it goes into charagma. And what is Esau's charagma? All right, his charagma is the RFID chip, a stamp, an imprinted mark, the mark branded upon horses. And why do you mark your horse? You mark your horse or chattel to identify that that chattel or horse belongs to you. And this is what the elites want, because they view you as being the goyim. They view you as being theirs. All right, their product, And that's the reason why at birth, all right, they give you a bond receipt. All right. They give you a social security card, which tracks you to every job that you go to. All right. They make you file taxes. They know and have an account of all of the money that you make if you're on the system. But you have a lot of people that get paid under the table. You have a lot of cash exchanges that happen without going through that system. So in their mind, they're losing out on a lot of money. But if they chip you and you do transactions via the RFID chip, then they have a digital log of all of the money that you spent and all of the money that you gain. And that's the reason why I said things like Chime or things like, Cash App or things like Zelle. These apps are slowly but surely programming your mind and getting you ready for, the RFID chip, because those also can be considered digital wallets. But then you have things like Bitcoin. Bitcoin can be tracked. It can be traced, but you store Bitcoin on a digital wallet. You store Bitcoin on what is known as a wallet. You don't keep your Bitcoin online because someone can hack your computer and they can take your Bitcoin. So you have certain drives that you keep your Bitcoin on, and you keep it on that drive offline. Now, usually it will be something along the lines of, it looks like a USB drive that they would keep their Bitcoin on, or their cryptocurrency. Because it's not just Bitcoin, any cryptocurrency. This was something that was rolled out, this digital currency, to pretty much get people prepared for the next thing that was to come, or the next step in the evolution chain, which would be the RFID chip. But you had certain individuals that took it a step further. And that step further was to put their cryptocurrency on an RFID chip. Now you have many different countries that are out there, one in particular that comes to mind, where they're already pushing for that cashless society and for people to receive a chip, is in Spain. And a lot of people over there, they use that chip as a method of payment. They barely use cash. The same thing is coming here to America. And they're going to barely use, right now people are barely using cash. And it's getting to the point where the majority of transactions that you do is with a card. All right. And that card was something that was set up to phase out, cash. And then it went from the card to other things like using your phone. And now it's going from using the phone, all right, to using, a digital currency with a digital wallet. So reading a little bit more, Strong's definition, charagma, from the same as G5482, a scratch or etching, an example stamped as a badge of servitude. All right, a badge of servitude. So when you take this charagma, all right, this makes you a servant, a perpetual servant, a perpetual slave to Esau Edom. This is the book of Exodus, the 21st chapter, and the 5th verse. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Now this is what Esau is trying to do unto the masses of people globally. but he wants to bore your hand through, or he wants to bore your arm through, or he wants to bore your head through, or your foot, wherever you receive this man's carnal mark. All right, this is the mark of the beast that is stated within the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. And there's a bunch of individuals that are out there that are saying that you can take this mark and that before Yahushua comes, you can pop it out. All right, and they're saying that because they have a lack of faith. All right, the times are coming when they're going to be very challenging and hard to endure. But it's going to take a high level of piety and faith to endure these times. The scripture says in Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And the reason why I like going to this particular verse, all right, because it describes what's going to go on during the hour when they implement the mark of the beast. Is going to be an hour of temptation. All right, but you have to have patience. And the word, therefore, patience is hapunamai, or hapu monet. It says steadfastness, constancy, endurance. In the New Testament, the characteristics of a man who is not swerved from the deliberate purpose and his loyalty to the faith and piety by even the greatest trials of suffering. So we're about to go through great trials of suffering, all right? And what comes to mind is Second Maccabees, the 7th chapter, Second Maccabees, the 6th chapter. All right, these times are going to be like the Maccabees, where they were, putting our people to death and trying to force them to do things that were against the law of the Most High Heavenly Father. Now, receiving the RFID chip is against the law of the Most High Heavenly Father. Because one, the scriptures say, make no covenant with the heathen. Yet, Exodus, the 23rd chapter, verse 32. It says, thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. So if you take that chip, what is that? That you making a covenant with them. You're not supposed to make any cuttings or piercings in the flesh. This is Leviticus 19:28. It says, ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh. Now, when you go into the word for marks within the Hebrew, instead of the Greek, the word there is kwai, which means incision, imprintment, tattoo, or mark. So an incision is what? It's having your flesh pierced. And this is exactly what Esau wants to do. Now, this is an article from Forbes. All right, and this is dealing with the stimulus package that Esau wants to give to you. It says new coronavirus stimulus bill in Congress creates U.S. digital dollar. It says as the markets continue to drop, and the U.S. looks to Congress for agreements on a massive stimulus package to save the economy from impacts of coronavirus pandemic, the newest offer by House Democrats includes a very forward-looking kind of stimulus, the creation of a digital dollar and the establishment of digital dollar wallets. Keep that in mind. It says in what will send shockwaves through the cryptocurrency and blockchain industry, particularly for those following central banks' digital currencies around the world. This signals the U.S. is serious in establishing infrastructure for a central bank digital currency. Both Speaker Pelosi takes responsibility for Workers and Families Act and the Financial Protection and Assistance for America's Consumers, State Businesses and Vulnerable Population Act H.R. 6321 introduced by Chairmanwoman Maxine Waters of Financial Services Committee, introduced these concepts today as a way of delivering economic stimulus payments to U.S. citizens. The bill established a digital dollar, which it defines as a balance expressed as a dollar value consisting of dollar ledger entries that are recorded as liabilities in the accounts of any Federal Reserve Bank or an electronic unit of value, which they've been doing this all along anyway. All right, because when you go to your bank, there's not really a lot of cash on hand. All right, and the majority of transactions that you're doing with your card. So there's nothing but zeros and ones. So slowly but surely, they've been getting you introduced into this technology. All right, you've been doing it all along with using your credit card and your debit card or your ATM card. But now it's gonna make that transition from being in a credit card, or you using a credit card to make as a payment method, to you using your hand, all right, or wherever that chip is as a payment method. And this way you have no control. All right, the elites have all of the control. All right, they can turn your chip off. All right, they can activate it. They can suspend it. They can stop you from being able to purchase certain things. If you go against them, they can stop you from being able to, you'll have a bad credit score or a social credit score. All right, because this RFID system, I said chipstem, it's going to be similar to how China has a social credit system. And when you have a bad social credit, it limits you from being able to do certain things. They put your face up all over the news. If you got a bad social credit system, social credit score, they stop you from being able to get apartments in certain areas. They stop you from being able to get on a train, from buying a plane ticket. All right, this is the kind of control that the elites will have over you. All right, but ultimately they can turn it off. But they can track every transaction, everything that you buy, everything that you sell. They're going to do away with the dollar. And that's one of the reasons why they're allowing the economy to take a hit like this. And people are getting afraid and they're panicking. And when people are afraid and panic, they'll accept anything as a solution. So what are they going to do? They're going to take the chip. It says an electronic unit of value redeemable by an eligible function institution as determined by the board of governors of the Federal Reserve System. A digital dollar wallet is identified as a digital wallet or account maintained by the Federal Reserve Bank on behalf of any person that represents holdings in the electronic device or service that is used to store digital dollars. All right, that may be tied to a digital or physical identity. So once they put this chip inside of you, all right, the elites, they own that chip, and they own the person that the chip is in, as long as their currency or their money is put inside of you. So going over to this other article. And this one is from Bitcoin.com. And it's from March, or maybe that's the date. Okay. It could be older than this. Okay, yeah, there you go. April 5th, 2019. And the title reads, Installing a subdermal Bitcoin wallet is only for the brave. In 2014, our Dutch entrepreneur, Martin Wishmeyer, made headlines having a pair of Bitcoin wallets embedded under his skin. Since then, various cypherpunks and tech journalists have had microchips embedded into their hands. All right, anyone interested in getting chipped for the purpose of boasting a bioimplant Bitcoin wallet should be cautious, however, as the procedure is not for the faint-hearted. Bitcoin wallet under the skin. The idea of getting an integrated circuit device or radio frequency identification, all right, transponder embedded into your skin probably seems alien. And it does, especially to a lot of Israelites. They can't grasp this concept. And they're pushing that, hey, if you get this chip, just make sure that you take it out before Yahweh Shai returns. First of all, you don't know when Yahweh Shai is going to return, because the scriptures say that he cometh like a thief in the night. And then also it says, as lightning from one part of heaven into another, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So you are not fastening Yahweh Shai. And plus, that shows a lack of faith. All right? You're not showing the same level of integrity as the men and women did back during the Greek, captivity, when they were forced and compelled to eat swine's flesh, but they would rather die than to break the commandment of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So you have a lack of faith, and you as leaders are pushing that this is acceptable unto your followers. You're going to lead them blindly into receiving the RFID chip. It's not without its advocates. However, over the years, various cryptocurrency enthusiasts have engaged in the biohacking by embedding a microchip with a Bitcoin wallet into their hand. It's not without its advocates. However, over the years, various cryptocurrency enthusiasts have engaged in biohacking by embedding a microchip with a Bitcoin wallet in their hand. On March 15th, journalist Bailey Rutzel recently wrote how she got the mark of the beast and explained how it would now hold her Bitcoin. And she's making a joke about this, as if it's funny, and probably found humor in it, thinking that we're just conspiracy theorists, because, Esau doesn't have any spiritual bone in his body. There's nothing spiritual about him, But for you Israelites, if you receive this, all right, then you're going to die to death right with this beast system, and with the people, all right, that worship the beast, or that receive the number of his name, or that receive his mark. It says Russell said she was inspired when she first met Martin Wismeier, otherwise known as Mr. Bitcoin. In 2014, numerous media outlets reported on Wismeier's Bitcoin wallet embedded into each of his hands. The two wallets were NFC type 2 compliant chipsets for cold storage and hot wallet use as well. In 2016, BuzzFeed reported Charlie Warzel described how he got a Bitcoin wallet implanted into his hand and what the mark of the beast taught me about the future of money. So this RFID chip is the mark of the beast, where it mentions you will not be able to buy or sell save ye have the mark of the beast. And it's Democrats that are introducing this, for a lot of you Jakes, which goes to show you that Democrats and Republicans are just two sides of the same coin. They work together. And what proves that, Revelation, the 13th chapter, in verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So those two horns represents the plebeians and patricians during the Roman Empire, but we understand that America is set up after ancient Rome. So instead of being plebeians and patricians, they call themselves Democrats and Republicans. So they're part of the same beast, man. They're on the same beast. They're part of the same system, Democrats and Republicans. They work together. Just until, the people, they appear as if they're not working together. But anyways, they're getting ready to introduce this mark of the beast. And many different people are going to receive the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. And for those that receive it, not having any integrity or not having any faith. All right, this is the judgment that follows. Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest, all right, day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever received the mark of his name. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. All right, here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith in Yahweh Shai. So through keeping the commandments of the Most High, Heavenly Father, which commandments say not to make a covenant with the heathen, all right, and not to make any markings or piercings or incisions in your flesh. And then when you set up a ruler over yourself, that ruler ain't supposed to be somebody that's of the heathen. So Esau is trying to make himself a perpetual ruler over you. All right, the one that we're supposed to be servants and under the subjection of is Yahweh Shai, not the rich elite banking families. Now, for you that are Israelites that are moving in the spirit and that reject the RFID chip or the brain chip, or which is the mark of the beast, all right, you're going to receive salvation, man, through showing piety and faith, even in the greatest trials, of suffering. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. And the 7th plague is a thermonuclear destruction. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, all right, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. So it says that got the victory. You can't get the victory over the chip if you receive the chip and thinking that you're going to pop it out. That's not what victory consists of. The word victory is nakao, which means to conquer. All right, to carry off the victory, come off victorious. So you will come off victorious if you kept your patience. All right, and you did not receive the mark of the beast. When one is arraigned or goes to the law to win the case, maintain one's cause. So maintaining your cause will consist of you not receiving that mark. Now, to go back to Revelations 3:10, all right, this is the way that you have to carry yourself in these times. All right, and this is the energy you have to meet these times with. All right, the same energy that the 7 brothers and their mother met it with in 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter. The same energy that Eleazar met it with in 2 Maccabees, the 6th chapter. All right, be willing to leave behind a noble example of piety and faith. All right, even if you have to suffer death for not receiving this mark. So the word patience again, which is hupomone, steadfastness, constancy, endurance. In the New Testament, the characteristics of a man who is not swerved from his deliberate purpose and his loyalty to faith and piety by even the greatest trials and sufferings. All right. So you will have patience. You will persevere. All right. And what's going to help you persevere? The word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, as it is written, Isaiah the 33rd chapter, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. All right. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. So if you have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, if you follow the wisdom and knowledge and the teachings of this truth, all right, you will have strength in the time of adversity. All right, you would know what moves to make. You would know what choices to make. You would know what not to do. You would know what to do. And a lot of people don't know what to do because their eyes are closed and their ears are closed and shut up from receiving this knowledge. And a lot of them have turned their backs. All right, a lot of these Israelites have turned them back from receiving the truth. So therefore, they're going to be the ones caught up in receiving that mark and the destruction that comes with receiving that. All right. And as you see, All right, Esau wants to put together uh, 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 um, a digital currency stimulus package with a digital wallet. And what can be used as a digital wallet? The RFID chip. So don't be surprised when they roll out the RFID chip Mark of the Beast system. All right, which is already here. They just have to get everybody on it. So with that, I truly hope that this lesson was edifying. Until the next time, Shalom.